The Dolphins visiting the Jets, another huge road favorite. The Dolphins, double-digit favorites here for the Black Friday game. Kerner, what do you got?
Well, I can't believe you didn't take my Charbonnet prop because this one's really gross. I'm going with Tim Boyle over 28 and a half pass attempts. And, Zach Wilson is bad and definitely deserved to be benched. No doubt about that. But Tim Boyle is probably even worse. And I thought his passing prop of 158 yards was a bit too low, but I can't invest in him actually completing passes. So I think taking the over here in the pass attempt market makes the most sense. Zach Wilson cleared this in 6 of the 7 games he started and finished. And he's much more willing to scramble, which can take away from pass attempts. But, Tim Boyle is as statuesque as it gets. He's a true pocket passer. He's not going to be scrambling. So every time he drops back and doesn't get sacked, it's going to be a pass attempt. And the Jets will likely lean on the run as much as they can. But at some point, they're going to have to throw in order to keep up with the Dolphins offense. And the Dolphins have allowed opposing quarterbacks to clear this in 9 of 10 games this year. The only time they didn't was when they were blown out in week 4 against the Bills. So a lot of signs pointing to him clearing this. I think the only threat really is an in-game benching, but I would have to imagine the chances of that are fairly low. Like, they have to give him a longer leash here just to see what they have. We already know Tim Boyle's bad, so the fact they're starting him means they'll probably let him at least play until he clears his prop before they decide to bench him. So I think it's fairly safe in that regard. So I'm projecting him closer to 30 and a half attempts here with about a 60% chance of clearing 28 and a half.
I like it, Sean Kerner. I like it a lot. They would let Zach Wilson throw 50 times in a game. He
True.
passed for 50 yards, but they let him throw 50 times in a game. Simon.
Yeah, I finally went and watched some Tim Boyle tape. I had no idea how bad this guy was. He is terrible. So the fact they're playing him over Zach Wilson, it really is very telling where they're at with Zach Wilson. And I'm not gonna let him scare me off. It almost scared me off. I'm not gonna lie, Chad. I was like, what am I doing here, taking the Jets at the 10? But thanks to my guy Evan, went through the trends, helped me calm down a little bit. And it's like, okay, I do like this big number. I like them at home, divisional game. We always talk at the time these kind of spots, but the trends point to it. In these standalone games that aren't on Sunday, if you're catching more than 10 points or higher, they're 17-8 ATS. So it's a trend that does work, where it's like these big dogs in standalone games. It's usually good to back them, right? The public's coming in so heavy on one side. We already know all the teasers, right? All the money line parlays from Thanksgiving. All the people are going to tie into this Friday game. It's just what people do. And it's just a new thing where it's our first Black Friday game. So I kind of was looking at it for a while. It's like, am I going to get there on this Dolphins team? Because Tim Boyle's so bad, but I just couldn't get there. Like, the Jets defense, they know it, right? They know what's at stake here. They got to step up. This is a divisional game where if you steal this one, you could still, realistically, the Jets could still somehow get this division, right? It's not that far gone. So I do view this as an everything game for this team. That's why they're making the QB change. We think it could inspire some guys on the team and hopefully get the defense fired up, because it did look last week like the Jets quit a little bit, right? In that Bills game at one point, where we're not used to seeing that with this defense. So it feels like this is their everything game. We're getting 10 points at home in a divisional game. We got to do it, brother. We got to take the 10 with the Jets.
2 bets, 2 gross bets. That's how we're all going to feel the day after Thanksgiving anyway. So why not invest in grossness? Raybon, what do you have to say?
Well, first, I will say that I agree with Simon. The Jets are absolutely the right side, but I was on Tim Boyle the last time he covered in an NFL game against the Atlanta Falcons.
You lived to tell about it.
Right, exactly. So I'm not going back there, and I don't think you want to either, Chad. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure you want to take a Tim Boyle over when they say they're gonna have 3 quarterbacks active. So Trevor Siemian lurking. You never know. But this is a fun one, a legit fun one for you. Let's go with Izzy Abanaconda, anytime touchdown, plus 1,100. Michael Carter was their passing down back. They cut him so that they could give Abanaconda, who's a 5th-round rookie out of Pitt, some playing time. He made his debut against the Bills, played 10 snaps, which is not bad for, first first time on the field. He got a carry and 2 targets on those 10 snaps. So I think that usage is only going to go up from here. He rushed for over 1,400 yards and 20 touchdowns last year at Pitt, and then he tore up the preseason this year. So I think he could get anywhere from 2 to 4 touches in this game. So I'm projecting his touchdown odds at 11%, which would be odds of plus 800, whereas the odds at 11 to 1, they're at 8%. So I think there's some decent value here on Israel Abanikanda anytime touchdown. And the Jets need a spark, and this is the guy that can give it to him. So I'm looking for him to keep seeing increased usage. And he's from Brooklyn, and the Jets are playing. This is his first home game. So, it all lines up.
Guys, what is Black Friday all about? Deals and steals on things you don't even want until you see the deal. And I know I can't go through Black Friday and not get myself a piece of Tim Boyle. Give me Tim Boyle over his total passes. Thank you, Sean Kerner.
He doesn't have to complete them. It's great.
That's right. That's what I mean.
This might be the all-time most disgusting prop, and it's an over too.
That's the beauty of this prop. He doesn't have to complete a single pass. He just has to throw it as often as he possibly can. That is terrible. So we're going with Tim Boyle. There you go. Sean Kerner's on the board. Convince Me is presented by Bet365. Bet365 doesn't do ordinary. That's why you get more boost with them than with anyone else. Every day they power up the odds on hundreds of bets to give you a chance to win more. Bet365 boosts specific markets, your winnings, and even parlays. And they don't stop there. Keep an eye out for their biggest and best odds with the incredible Super Boost. Check out the boosts and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and present in Colorado, Iowa, New Jersey, Ohio, or Virginia, or 18 and older in Kentucky. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. Terms, conditions, restrictions apply. Don't forget, me and Simon Hunter, my co-host on the Favorites podcast, we're doing our Sunday podcast episode live from the Shepherd and the Knucklehead in Hoboken, New Jersey. That's December 3rd. Check out the link in the description page for this show to RSVP. You must RSVP. Entry is free. Drinks are free. Hugs from me and Simon are free. We'll be betting and sweating the games and then doing our show that night around 7:30. You can also search Eventbrite. Go to eventbrite.com, search the Favorites podcast for more info.